Yeah, I can give you a brief testimony of my life. I've been a saint all my life. Nah, actually, I've been a bit of a rat bag half my life. I was brought up in the church, basically to go to mass every Sunday. So it's how to get to heaven, all that kind of stuff. And look, I hated going to mass when I was younger. I thought it was boring and everything. And I was always a troublemaker at school. I did some really bad things. I must have been the worst person in my grade every year, getting suspended and all that kind of stuff. I never got expelled. I don't know how that didn't happen, but anyway. And then when I was 16, I was invited to an Antioch weekend, and it blew me away. It showed me a side of faith that I hadn't seen before, a side of faith that you could actually be having fun. Like on the Sunday morning when my parents were going to mass, they saw me out in the street, with a super soaker wetting our priest, Okay, that maybe is not the full faith side, but this is a different side of church that I'd seen. So through that I spent many years in Antioch, I took a lot more than gave, and so from that I didn't really develop much. And it wasn't until I started, I started losing my faith a little bit when I was about 22, questioning a lot, things weren't going right in my life. And then I started doing security a lot, Oxford Street, King's Cross, and through that, I felt being pulled away from my faith. I remember standing on Oxford Street, many nights and just looking across the road at that gay club Stonewall, and you see all the drag queens and all that and all the things that go on there. And we just standing there going, God, is this what life's about? Do we just, we live our life, have fun or whatever, and then we go to heaven? It didn't make sense, and virtually how I snapped out of this, I was, everything that I'd been taught, everything that I knew over the years was exiting my head. When friends were asking me questions about, eternity and stuff like that, or life, I was saying I don't know, And I was in a sales role at the time, and a girl was reading a book, and I don't read books. I've read about 5 books in my life, and this is probably one of them. And I just felt something in me go, you need to read that. You need to know what's going on. So I said, oh, what's this book? What is it? She goes, it's called A Divine Revelation of Hell. And I was like, ooh, hell, I've always been into demons and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, what's all that about? And she said, Jesus was taken to hell for 30 days or 30 nights, and heaven for 10 nights. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. And she started explaining a little bit about it, and I'm like, whoa. She's like, yeah, you read it. I go, but you're reading it. She's basically throwing at me. She goes, look, I'm just borrowing this from my mum. I've got heaps of books to read. I said, all right. And I read it. I took it on the bus and everything. I could not stop reading this thing. As I started reading it, everything started to come back. Everything that I ever learnt in the faith went straight to my head and went, wow, where did it go? It's like it disappeared, but now it's all back. It's like clouds were coming off my eyes. It was amazing. But a lot's happened since then. It was for the first year of that. I call that my conversion. I was more into the whole hell. If you don't go God's way, you're going to go to hell. But after a year, he started to show me that his love overrides all of that. I tried mass every day for 3 months, as Father Anthony Bernard suggested, and that's when I fell in love for the Eucharist. That's a whole another story on its own. When I was down here one day, I knew about the Rosary Chain, but I could never pray it. And I felt that I needed to speak to Jeff, the old Jesus, funny enough. And I said, Jeff, something's telling me that I need to learn to know what's all this about. Something's pushing me. I don't know what it is. And he explained the Rosary Chain to me and the Rosary, and I said, I think I have to help this. I think something's pushing me to help with this. And he goes around the churches and that, and I tried that, didn't work. But he was doing it at Theology on Tap, which is where all youth get together and listen to theology in a pub. And he was finding it very hard to do it because of time and everything. So I said, look, I'll come here anyway. I'll do it. And then through doing that, I felt guilty because I was promoting the Rosary but not praying it. I could barely get through a decade a day. So I started pushing myself to get through a Rosary every day, no matter what. Did that, got to 2 rosaries, got to 3 rosaries, then got to 2 rosaries and 1 rosary whilst praying the mysteries. And from that, his whole passion and all the mysteries just started to make sense. And then I prayed last year, it was a year ago, I prayed for 6 months, 3 rosaries a day, begging Our Lady for recruits for our Antioch weekend. And we'd only ever have 6 to 7 recruits on a weekend. I was praying for 20 to 30. I was saying minimum 20, Mother. This is minimum 20. This is possible. We've got the, we've got the potential for this, but it's not going to happen. I haven't seen it ever happen in the 10 years I've been there. So I prayed for it, and we had 22 recruits, and that's where I saw the rosary really take effect. And from that, I've seen a lot of other miracles as well. But like I said, it's been a long journey to get here and to get to where my faith's at. And I'm no saint, you know what I mean? Like I've still got a long way to go. A lot more penance to repair my previous sins in my younger life. But I'm telling you, a life with faith kills a life without faith. You know, my life sucked before. You know, going to clubs and doing bull crap, you know, like mucking around with friends and doing stupid stuff. I still do that kind of stuff, but I do it at the monastery. But yeah, there was the emptiness. There was emptiness within me, and you can't. Things that people told me when they had about their faith and that I didn't understand before. I was like, how could you do this? Why would you want to go here? Why would you want to do this? Whatever. Now I understand it. But it's taken a long time, and for God to slap me in the head a few times and reveal many things to me. But now I get it. And there's still things that I'm questioning. Like I'm looking at people that are more into faith than me and going, wow, how do you do this or how do you do that? But I'm sure in time, if I keep at it, they'll be revealed to me, and then I'll be able to go, now I get it. It's like everyone looking at me going, how did you become Jesus yesterday? They wouldn't understand unless they had a year preparing for it like I did.
Okay, that's